If you had told me 15 years ago that I would be married to the love of my life with 3 beautiful kids living my happily ever after, I wouldn't have believed you. Back then, I was stuck in a cycle of heartbreak where every relationship felt like a struggle I couldn't escape. Have you ever found yourself asking, why do I keep attracting the same type of partner? Or why do my relationships feel like they're stuck on repeat, playing the same painful story over and over again? You're not alone. Many of us unknowingly fall into patterns shaped by our past that are influencing our current relationships. These hidden dynamics silently drive our love lives, influence the choices we make, and the outcomes we experience without even us realizing it. So what are these hidden love patterns? Well, they're subconscious programs or scripts that we repeat in our lives, shaped by our childhood experiences, family dynamics, and past relationships. These patterns influence how we perceive love, how we interact with our partners, and why we might be drawn to certain relationship dynamics that cause us pain repeatedly. Imagine these patterns as invisible forces shaping our love lives, unconsciously pulling us toward particular types of partners or situations, even if they aren't what's best for us. Now, through my work with over 5,000 women, I've identified 5 common hidden love patterns that many people find themselves repeating without realizing. The first one is the commitment phobe. You keep attracting partners that are emotionally unavailable, or you push away the ones who actually care. You feel safer keeping a distance in your relationships to avoid getting hurt, abandoned, or rejected. But it also keeps you from finding a real connection with someone else. Next, we have the people pleaser. You think the only way to be loved is making others happy. You might change yourself to fit what someone else wants and constantly seek approval from others. But you lose yourself along the way. Because of that, your partners tend to take you for granted, and you end up resenting the people who you're trying to please when they don't love you back the way you expect to be. Now, if you believe love is hard, painful, or risky, you're probably in the runaway bride pattern. Past heartbreak or trauma has made you afraid of opening up, so you avoid love to protect yourself from getting hurt again. You fear vulnerability and intimacy, and instead of going towards love, you run away from it. You often sabotage your relationships too. The next pattern is the caretaker. You take on the responsibility of other people's happiness, often putting their needs above your own. Growing up, you might have had to care for others emotionally, and now it's hard to focus on your own happiness. You believe that love means sacrifice, and you attract partners you have to take care of, but they leave you when they don't need you anymore. Finally, we have
the memory chaser.
Here, you're still holding on to the past, whether it's replaying old relationships or regretting the one that got away. It's tough to move forward when you keep looking back, stuck in the what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, woulda. You don't give new love a chance, comparing them to past partners or relationships. These relationship patterns lead us to attract certain types of partners, repeat self-sabotaging or destructive relationship behaviors, or find ourselves stuck in relationships that lead to disappointment and rejection over and over again. Now let's understand where these hidden patterns come from. Our early experiences play a significant role in forming these patterns. I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about your parents and their relationship with each other, or your primary caregivers. Did they interact with each other in a healthy, loving, or supportive way? Or were there patterns of conflict and struggle when you were growing up? If you grew up in a household where your parents fought all the time, you might develop the runaway bride pattern. avoiding love because you saw it as something painful when you were growing up. You may want to be with somebody who you think might make you happy, but deep down inside, you're afraid of love. Or you might become the commitment phobe, constantly attracting emotionally unavailable partners so you can conveniently avoid commitment. You keep blaming other people for the commitment issue, even though the issue is actually yours. Now that we understand what these patterns are and where they come from, how do we start recognizing them? One of the first steps is to pay attention to recurring themes in your relationships. Are there common traits among your partners? Do you find yourself in similar conflicts or emotional struggles repeatedly? Just recognizing that these patterns exist, that they keep repeating, and knowing what they are can be a huge breakthrough. It shows you that the problem isn't outside of you. It might just be within you. But here's the thing. We're not here to point fingers. Taking responsibility for what's happening in your love life could actually be the most empowering choice that you make. And that realization could be the wake-up call that you need to start making changes in your love life. But you don't have to figure all of this out on your own. By understanding these invisible forces, you can start making better decisions, attract healthier partners, and choose fulfilling relationships. The power to change is within you. And part of that change starts with loving yourself. The more we understand ourselves, our needs, our patterns, and our behaviors, the better choices we can make in love and relationships. Now, if you're ready to start loving yourself a little bit more and focus on your personal growth, I'd like to invite you to follow my podcast, Project Loving Myself, where you'll discover how self-love is the key to transforming your relationships. After all, the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. And how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you.
If you're ready to uncover the hidden patterns that are keeping you stuck in your love life, then take my Love Blocks quiz and discover your love block type. It's quick and insightful, and you'll instantly get personalized results that'll help you break through those barriers and start attracting your perfect match. Just click the link in the description below and let's get to the root of what's holding you back so you can finally create your happily ever after. You are loved.